Yesterday, as we were working our way towards the vote, the markets were pricing in something completely different, and that's why we're seeing, in large part, this sell-off today. Would it be this big, for example, if the expectation wasn't so much different? We do have Deirdre and Lauren here, and we're joined by market watcher Dave Maney as well, who might be able to make a comparison to the market before the financial crisis for us. Is that right, Dave?
We're in this giant information-driven revolution, right? We all have massively more information. We get it from different places, and it affects us differently because we share it with each other and we see things differently. What we have in our polling mechanisms largely is still very straightforward, right? It's still very much based on a previous communications era. So all the Nate Silvers and the 538s in the world didn't see Donald Trump coming. And in the same way, I don't think anyone accurately was able to measure where this Brexit sentiment was coming from or how it was going to move the needle.
That could be interesting, though, right, Deirdre? Because when we get into our own election in the fall, last time around the polls, to be fair, were almost dead on right. I mean, everybody predicted Barack Obama would win, and he did. And now this time around, because Trump's a different dynamic, because everybody is looking at things so differently, as the UK vote, I think, proves to us, at least in part.
Well, as Dave just said, poor Nate Silver. I mean, what a guy.
Well, not just his fault,
he said, I mean, 2% chance of Donald Trump. But to your point, all bets are off. We're in a whole new world. And listen, the polling is, as Dave just said, it's still the polling. If I call you up and I ask you a question, you're going to tell me that you're going to do something a certain way, and you do the exact opposite.
It makes it hard to be in a market.
There's no control for that. A couple, two tech things, though, that I noticed. Google Trends is actually saying the #1 question that's being typed in today from the UK is, what does Brexit mean?
Is that right?
So I don't know where the overlap is in the people typing in that versus the 70% plus people who got out and voted, but that's something. And then just to your point and to Dave's point about Trump and this, let's call it a populist theme. Yeah. And it's tech related too, right? The way that we communicate, so much more open. We have Facebook, Google, Snapchat, whatever it is, we can all speak. So that is to say the voice of the people is getting louder and is able to organize in a different way. Yeah, we're in a whole new world.
We are. Lauren, your thoughts real quick, and then we'll go back to Dave.
Well, the revolt, if you will, that we're seeing over in Europe, we're seeing exactly here in the United States. It's not the Hillary Clinton message today that we can fight this and be stronger and better together. Great Britain and the UK voted the opposite. It's this message of sovereignty, and the UK and the US in some ways are being inspired by one another.
Well, the message, I think, that is fighting back from the Hillary Clintons of the world, but even from some center-right Republicans of the world, both here in the United States on the Republican Party, but also, Dave, the Conservative Party over in Great Britain, is that you guys are getting this all wrong and there will be consequences. I mean, I saw them this morning all over Twitter and some of them on TV saying that you're going to pay for this. So is that wrong? Are there economic consequences long-term to what the UK did last night?
I have a profound thing for you to think about.
Oh, good.
There's a social and technological theorist named Clay Shirky, and he wrote about the collapse of newspapers. He wrote this great sentence that was, in revolutions, the old order collapses long before the new order emerges. And so this idea that we're not going to know for a little while, but the idea that we're somehow descending into economic chaos, which is the sense that you get a lot, I just don't think that's right.
So the markets are overreacting today, just repricing the expectation.
Yes, they're repricing risk which they see that wasn't there before and that they didn't anticipate, and I get that. And yes, is London real estate probably worth a little less because there'll be a little less fewer people able to buy it? Probably, but the idea that somehow trade will grind to a halt and the world's economies are suddenly swirling the drain is almost kind of silly.
Right. No, I think a lot of people agree with you on that. Thank you, Dave. There's some good thoughts. Thanks for starting us off today on Coast to Coast. We appreciate it.